everyone, I'm Rose and welcome or welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you a bunch of my most highly anticipated books on my physical TBR. These are all books I predict will be 5 stars. I have a lot of them, and something I for some reason do is when I really think a book is going to be 5 stars and I'm going to love it, I put off reading it. I pick up books that I'm not confident are going to be 5 stars and then wonder why it took me 25 books to read this year to get to my first 5-star read. So this is kind of a video for myself to make myself read some of these books because I know I'm gonna love them. I'm predicting they're all gonna be 5-star reads. Why have I not picked them up yet? So please keep the comments spoiler free, but tell me if you have read any of these, and if so, what you rated them. Tell me where I need to start, convince me which ones I should prioritise, and without further ado, let's get through these books. Now, these are not all the books. These are literally just books that I stared at my shelves, I picked a bunch out. It's by no means like the whole list. 20 books here, so let's just get started. First up, we have Checkmate by Ali Hazelwood. I absolutely love Ali Hazelwood's writing. I think I've rated all of her books 4 stars and above. I rated The Love Hypothesis 5 stars, I think. And this is her first young adult book, and I'm super excited to get to it, and I just think I'm gonna fall in love with it. Speaking of young adult romance, we have Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. I don't know much about this book. I'm pretty sure it's set in high school and this girl is trying to choose who to be with. A guy she has a crush on, or her girl best friend who she's always hoped for more from. I know I'm gonna love it. I just have a feeling I'm gonna read it in one sitting and I'm gonna fall in love. Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. Now, I'm not specifically talking about this book, but I mean the series as a whole. I absolutely love the ACOTAR series, and I've heard the most amazing things about the Throne of Glass series. I'm not saying the first book is going to be 5 stars, but I definitely think some of them will probably be 5 stars, and this might become a new favourite series overall of mine. I'm super excited. 2024 is the year I read the Throne of Glass series. Speaking of fantasy, we have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I have just seen this absolutely everywhere. So many people love it. It's a fantasy duology, and I've heard it's really good if you are intimidated by a lot of world building and things like that. I just have a feeling I'm really gonna like it, and it's a duology, so I don't have to commit to too much. It's just 2 books and I'm excited. 4 more fantasy books on this list, so let's go through them now. We have This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi. I rated the Shatter Me series. I'm pretty sure I rated every single book 5 stars. This is the author of the Shatter Me series, and I'm so excited to see what she does with a fantasy trilogy, I think it is. I have the first 2 books. Really excited to see what she does with Fantasy World. Now, this is one I have a feeling I'll love, but I'm so intimidated by, and I'm sure you know what it is. The Prayer of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is why I'm scared. It's huge. I've read books longer than this, but everyone's intimidated by this book, and so I have to be as well. I also have the prequel. I still don't know whether I should read that first or second because this was published first. All I know about this book is it's fantasy, there's dragons and lesbians. That's what I've heard. And you know what? I'm sold. This is another one that I'm intimidated by. We have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I've been following Lauren Roberts since she was talking about the first draft she made years ago. Since she first started talking about how this book is like if the Hunger Games and Red Queen had a baby and they didn't really look like either of the parents. I've heard her say that so many times. I've heard so many amazing things about this book, and I'm just scared that, I don't know, because this is like my most anticipated fantasy book ever, I think. And I'm really scared that if I don't like it, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm pretty sure this is the last fantasy book on the list, and the rest are thrillers, romance, and some horror. So we have Cursed Fates, which is book 5 in the Zodiac Academy series by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. Every single book I've read so far from this series and from these authors have been 5 stars, and this is the next one I have to read. It is absolutely huge. The writing only gets smaller as it goes on. I know my heart is going to break, and that's why I'm putting this book off, but I know it's going to be 5 stars. Okay, then I have a couple dark romances. We have, well, is this dark? I think this is Mafia. I don't know if it's considered dark romance, but we have Brutal Prince by Sophie Luck. This was so kindly sent to me by Meg for my birthday. Thank you, Meg. I've heard great things about Sophie Luck. I just have a feeling I'm going to fall in love with the series, and that's why, again, I've been putting this off for years. But now I have a physical copy. I can't put it off any longer. I'm ready to get into the world of Sophie Luck. And we also have Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. I have this whole series and I'm scared. I read a few chapters and I think I creeped myself out. I don't know if I'm going to rate this 5 stars for the characters, because I have a feeling I'm not going to love all of them, but I think there's going to be some characters that get their own books that I'll probably like. I don't know enough about them yet, but I just feel like I'm going to devour this series, and whether or not I like the morals in it, I think I'm going to enjoy the book in general, if that makes sense. I don't know. Adult romances. I think I have 5. I don't know if they're all classed as that, but let's just go with it. This is probably the first book I'm going to complete off of this list because I'm currently reading it, and that is Redeemed by Lauren Asher. This is the 4th and final book in the Dirty Air series. This is about Santi and Chloe. This book, I read the prologue and cried my eyes out, and I didn't pick it up for months afterwards. There's some amazing disability representation in this book. This isn't a spoiler because it literally happens in the prologue. Santiago is a F1 driver and he is in a car crash and he loses his leg. And this book, I'm going to tear up talking about it. My mum only has one arm and that is not represented enough in books. I am always looking for books with good disability representation, especially loss of limbs, because I don't know, it just hit me in my feels and I just feel like I'm gonna love this so much. I love Lauren Asher's writing so much. I've rated 4 of her books 5 stars, I think, and this might make the 5th on the list. But we have Hothouse Flower by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I rated every other book in the Addicted Calloway series 5 stars so far. I am nervous for this one because of the 2 people. I have read the first 60 pages and there's just a lot of swearing in it, like overly dramatic, like every other sentence. I don't care about swearing in books, but like I feel like Reich's whole personality is all he does is swear every other word, and it's just gotten a bit annoying. But this series as a whole is already a 5-star series and I've only read 4 out of the 10 books, so I just think even if Hothouse Flower isn't a 5-star read, the other books in the series definitely will be. I love these characters so much already. Now, these ones might be the ones I am least confident about. You'll understand why. We have Magnolia Parks The Long Way Home and Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. I read the first 2 books. I think I rated them both 4 stars. I'm gonna reread them and I think I might rate them even higher. I really like them. However, the reason I was able to rate them so highly is because I went into it for the rich life drama, the secrets, the toxicness, the Gossip Girls vibe. I didn't go into it rooting for the couples, and I have a feeling that these books are gonna try and make me root for the couples, and like I don't know if it's gonna convince me or not. So it has 5-star potential, but I'm really nervous about how it could go. So these are the 2 that I'm the least confident in. I love Jessa Hastings' writing, but the characters, I don't know if I can get behind Happily Ever Afters for them with each other. Don't come for me, guys. Okay, and this is the one I'm not sure if it's classed as adult romance or not, because the characters in it are teenagers, but the topics are so deep that I feel like it is classed as adult. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone under 18. We have Saving 6 by Chloe Walsh. This is the 3rd book in the Boys of Tommen series. I'm also including Redeeming 6. I rated Binding and Keeping 13 5 stars. They are some of my favourite books of all time. They put me through it, broke my heart so many times. I have a reading vlog where I lost track of the amount of times I cried reading those books, and that's why I've put off reading this one, because I know that this book is not going to have a happy ending. Book 4 probably will. I think it does. But I know that this book won't, because if you don't know, books 3 and 4 are both about the same couple. So at the end of the first book, they're not going to get a happy ending. I think they get it at the end of the 4th book, which is the 2nd book for that couple. Guys, I'm just scared, okay? I'm just scared to go through that pain again, but I know it will be so worth it. I'm nervous, okay? I have 3 books left, and of course I had to put some Stephen King books in this video. If you don't know me, if you're new to my channel, I absolutely love Stephen King as a person, but also as a writer. I have 2 whole shelves dedicated to his books because he's written a lot. I'm talking 90+ books I think we're at now. Yes, I have a lot of anticipated 5-star reads from him. So this is by no means the only books I think I'll rate 5 stars from him. I rate a bunch of books that I've read from him 5 stars. The Stand I think is still my favourite. It's 1400 pages and I wish it was longer. I also have a reading vlog for that one, by the way. I've got 3 here that I'm probably gonna get to the soonest I think are gonna be 5 stars. These are by no means my top 3 I think are gonna be 5 stars. But if I was gonna try and narrow it down, this video would be an hour long. First up, we have Gerald's Game by Stephen King. I've actually started this one. I've got to page 55. I'm absolutely loving it. I am absolutely terrified. I do a lot of my reading when it's dark out, and I can't do that with this book, so I haven't picked it up in weeks because I can't read it in the dark, and it gets dark at like 4 p.m. at the moment. I've freaked myself out too much with it, but when I do eventually get around to it, I have a feeling it's going to be 5 stars. Next up, we have another big one, and I'm pretty sure this is controversial because if you're a big fan of Stephen King and you've read a lot of his books, you'll probably know that people either love or hate his endings. Some of them apparently are absolutely horrendous. I haven't come across one like that yet, but I think when you write that many books, I guess sometimes you have to pull crazy twists and some people don't love them. And I've heard this one is a controversial ending. It's also huge. We have Under the Dome. This book's about 1,000 pages. And it's about a town that gets trapped in a dome, I think. I don't really know. But I love his longer books. And I'm super excited to get to it. And then the last book on this list, we have Rose Madder by Stephen King. If I look at this cover for too long, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, but I just want to show you that. Anyway, I think this is about a woman leaving an abusive relationship and the guy goes crazy and starts hunting her down. I feel like it's going to be an emotional read. But I feel like I'm really gonna love it. And there we go. Those are a bunch of books I own that I think are gonna be 5-star reads. Like I said, by no means are these the only books I own that I think are gonna be 5-star reads. Please convince me to read them, because for some reason I put off books I know I'll love. Someone tell me why I do that. Actually, I don't want to know. I don't need to be analysed today. I would rather live in denial. But that's all from me. Let me know what some of your anticipated 5-star releases are. Let me know if you've read any of these. What did you think of them? Please keep the comments spoiler free, of course, because I haven't read any of these books. But that's all from me. I hope you have a lovely day. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you would like to see more from me, as I post new videos every single week. And I'll see you in another video. Bye!